Minnesota officials say the Trump administration's ICE raids and fraud probes are declarations of war. During a press briefing on Tuesday, Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey warned of more federal agents smoking out illegal immigrants. They say despite President Trump launching ICE raids days after taking office, the timing of the latest crackdown is all the more cruel because it falls around Christmas.
We hear rumors, we hear suggestions of things, because that's how they operate, that there will be an increased presence. I would tell you, if I were a betting person, they will do it over these holiday seasons because it makes it especially cruel. It makes it especially mean-spirited. It makes it especially traumatizing for communities that wish to gather and to celebrate in their faith on these most important of the high holidays in all of our faiths. So I would fully expect, and we are preparing for, an influx of more agents, more of the very visible public theatrics of the raids, of the harassments.
Minnesota has been a target of the Trump administration ever since reports of $9 billion in Medicare services fraudulently going to dubious nonprofits. A good portion of the money went to Somali-run groups and even went to a Somalia-based terrorist group. Federal prosecutors warn the amount of fraud could be much larger.
So the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services pulled the claims data for these 14 programs dating back to 2018. And those 14 programs in Minnesota have cost $18 billion since 2018.
Governor Walz claims the Trump administration isn't trying to crack down on illegal immigration, going on to claim it's trying to wage war on minority populations in Minnesota.
This is what happens when your own federal government wages war against you. This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat. And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy, when you hear the Vice President of the United States talk about now white people won't have to apologize for being white. That's never happened once in my whole damn life. And I think everybody in this room knows what they're doing. So we're here today to say enough of this.
Meanwhile, Small Business Association Administrator Kelly Loeffler said she's freezing $5.5 million in annual funding for Minnesota. She said she's reviewing how the money would be spent. Loeffler pointed out there are dozens of other investigations into fraud in Minnesota and suggests the state's storied history of fraud makes it not to be trusted with American tax dollars.